Hi, Kate. Hi, Yanni.
Hi, Neha.
Hi, I mean, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Is Kara joining us?
I thought she was. Did she?
Okay. And is Todd Bennett joining?
No, Todd won't be.
Okay. Yeah, Kara did accept the invite. Kate, could you check with Kara?
Yeah, I just did.
Okay.
I'll send her a message as well.
Okay. I think we have everyone we need on this call. Maybe we can go around and introduce ourselves. I'd like to introduce the KPFF team who's going to be on the 305 Sketchers project.
I'm Kate Joyce. I'm the working with Kara from DFH's office. Hello, I'm Kara.
Hi.
I'm with DFH.
I'm Doug Conlon with KPFF, supporting Neha.
Doug is our senior civil engineer on the project and been supporting on the CA for 2901 as well as 3001.
Hi everyone, I'm Yuki Chen with KPFF. I'm one of the design engineers working for Neha.
Hi everyone, my name is Amanda with KPFF and I'm one of the design engineers for this project.
Hi, everyone. I'm Yanni. I'm working with Todd Bennett.
Yanni is the landscape architect. And yeah, here's our team. Yuki and Amanda will be the point of contact for day-to-day coordination, leading the design efforts. I think this is a good start for our coordination with the December 15th submittal. It's going to be coming up for the plan check. Yanni, you reached out to us wanting to talk about utilities, correct?
Yeah, I saw a note to coordinate with you. It was a note in DFH's meeting minutes partly about off-site coordination, which I don't know if it's a part of this discussion. I'm not sure what the timeline for the off-site submittal is, if it's the same December 15th.
I think for the, yeah, let's talk about that. Kara, for the submittal that we are planning to go back into the city, we're focusing mostly on the building and safety package, right?
Yeah. Just the response.
Okay, I was just,
So one of the things that we do, go ahead.
oh, go ahead, Neha.
But as part of the building and safety response package, a few things that we do need to discuss is the utilities and the grading at the building entrances.
Okay.
Do you think
And then for
things
the
are gonna
off-site-
be changing on that stuff?
Yuki reviewed the locations, the one off of Sepulveda, and we want to share that so we can talk about it now. We can pull up those drawings. There is, I think it'd be good to revisit it, just lessons learned from all of the other Skechers projects. So shall we start there?
Yeah, and I also wanted to get a refresher on these dedications and if they're allowed to be landscaped or not, specifically the one on the north side along Sepulveda, because I remember seeing in the beginning we did not have it landscaped and we still had the dedication, and I think that's when you had the side curb ramp, ADA curb ramp, and then it changed to the single direction curb ramp because of Caltrans, I believe they wanted it not on the side, and so at that point it looked like we did start landscaping that corner, and I thought there had been a conversation. I don't think it really matters either way if we have to not landscape it or not, but it looks like it was deliberate why we did landscape it again. But if you remember any of that too, so when we
I'm
get to
gonna pull up the conditions of approval on that one and make sure we're aligned. So going back, before we start, before Yuki shares the screen with the grading coordination, I think we, for the offsite, we'd like to have a separate breakout to get aligned on that package, Yanni. And we can do that towards mid or end of next week,
Sounds
if
good.
that works for you.
Sure.
Okay. Because we still have a little bit of work to do on our side for the offsite,
Okay.
getting our drawings up to date, at least with the dedication requirements. So with that, we can look at the grading. So what Yuki is showing is the area to off of Sepulveda, which is our main entrance. And previously, the way we had it was the sidewalk was sloping towards the curb, but everything from the property line was sloping towards the building, towards the door. And we had a trench drain. Maybe Yuki, you can show what the initial grading concept was and what we want to see if we can make a revision.
Yeah. So originally we are proposing to have the sidewalk and then with a ramp that goes to the trash drain, which is this one here, and then go into the building entrance. the 2%. And because this is, the elevation is way lower than the street elevations, so that has to go towards the building. But the issue is that there probably be some drainage going to the building, which is not preferable. Then we are proposing to have two options that we can help to mitigate the issues by raising the building pad to allow the water to flow out to the street with a minimum slopes. So here are the option 1 and option 2. With option 1, where we are raising the building pad, the main entrance, about 6 inches, then we can have a very minimum slope to drain the water out of the building side and to the street. And then the option 2, if we raising 8 inches, then we have more flexibility to meet the street requirements, which is the sidewalk can go over 1%. With everything gonna be drained and be catching up here on the trenching as well as going to the street. So these are the two options that we propose to help mitigate the drainage issues.
I'm not sure we can raise it at all
And
based on the height limit.
so, if it's not the entire pad, Kara, could it just be a transition at the door like we have done on some of our other projects together? The reason here, I think it's option 2 that will be approved by the city and Caltrans, given they want a minimum of 1.5 to 1.8%. So for option 1, we'd have to fight harder on presenting our case. In the previous one, what has also been flagged, the original one that Yuki was sharing, is we do not meet the ADA compliance. So Yuki, if you can go to the, here we have the ramp at 8.3%, where we'll need a handrail, which would mean the handrail would extend into the public right of way. And then at the door, we are showing 4.8 max, but it needs to be under 2% at the door. That would be the landing, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like how does this even get this far like that? Is that what our plans show?
I think the plans on the architectural, and Yuki, you have that right from the comments that we.
Yeah.
It's showing 223, and that has the 8.3%. And so that's the comment from the city as well. Please clarify slope ramp required. So and I see we have the elevator there. So could we catch up to the grade just at the edge of the elevator on the west side? What's the grid line? At the westerly edge of the elevator to grid line 2. You would probably need a flatter 2% slope as well, right, Karen?
I think we're in the. Kate, do you have the model open by chance?
I'm in the process of opening it to look at it.
But I thought we had %2 at the door, 8.3%, which yes, still does not work with the required handrails and then the sidewalk.
Yeah.
And it looks like we're like 3 inches below our height limit currently.
So we would be maxing it out to 8 inches, right? Because is it 223.67, Yuki, in option 2?
Okay, what's the main question here? 'Cause I don't
Main
think I can give you an answer, yes or no,
Okay.
right now without us.
Okay, we can
analyzing
summarize
through.
this. Yeah, how much can we raise the elevation at the door? Ideally, what we are coming up with is anywhere from 6 inches to 8 inches. And then if it's not the entire pad that you can raise or entire finished floor, can we look into options similar to what we have on other projects together in various jurisdictions, that your main elevation is what it is at 223, just that you have a topping slab transition at the entrance. So
Okay,
I can
so
summarize that.
yeah, if possible, I would like to keep everything like at the same level here. So what does that do to the loading zone on the south end if we were to raise this up? I know that the stair is already higher, and we have the egress stair, and we already have the ramp going down, and we do have space to extend it, like to make it longer if needed. But I think that you can go and look at the
Yuki, can we zoom into the south side on the alley?
because right now it looks like we have a 9.8% ramp from the property line to the wall.
The loading you're talking about is in the alley, correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's down farther on that plan.
So the alley drawings that you were looking on Boundary Place?
Yes, so that's, and I don't exactly remember what happened here. I think they want this loading, but someone, like a neighbor or someone didn't want it. So what the city asked us to do is to wall it off, but make it so that if we do want to make it a legitimate loading zone in the future, they can demo that wall and it can be a truck turnaround or a loading zone. So that's why there is a wall there at the 223. Yeah, that's 9.8% ramp. That's so random.
9.8%. Yuki, you looked into the grading in this area, right? Do you mind pulling that up? Maybe splitting the screen.
And then other than those two areas, I don't think it will affect anything else, right?
No, the other areas that we have, and we can look at it. So that's the loading. Yes, the elevation at the alley. Maybe even pulling up the survey would be helpful.
Well, it's that grid line 8 or that 8
Property
level.
line. Yeah.
Um,
So we were making the adjustments at the property line, so maybe we should open up with the survey Yuki here.
I guess I'm also thinking about if this whole slab raises Does that raise those planters on the west yard? Like, does it raise the whole structural slab?
We can look into that. I believe there's another thing Tim mentioned to me just a couple of days ago. On the west side is we need to provide fire access route. Is that right? And he indicated that was coming from a conversation with Bennett Design Group.
So one of the correction items was to provide fire access walk around.
Okay.
So not really a route per se.
Okay.
But Yanni, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was a 3-foot wide walk around.
That's right, right.
Apparently, yeah. Okay, and when you talked to someone, they said it should be paved, but when we had our meeting, we were going to push for a gravel type of walk around, right?
Yeah,
With more
she
started
she finally came through with the email that states paved without tripping hazards. So, if you still want to try for gravel, we can.
Okay. And that was the Malad plan checker?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, and that might be worth another pushback. Because it's not like it's an ADA walkway. And they're gonna have to be climbing a ladder to get to it anyways.
You could also, just Doug, you could also propose potentially DG, as long as you use the K-Rocker to stabilize it, that they might accept that over the gravel, because the gravel's loose.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I guess the real question is, what is in this planter? Because right now it was going to be the Epic, so it's like 2 feet from the structural slab to top of wall, which means once we slope, now that it's a normal planter, once we slope to a drain, it's going to only be like 18 inches or maybe even less. So what type, is that still what we want to do, and what type of plants are in there? And on towards the north end of that, the existing grade looks like it really drops down. So it's from grade to top of wall, it looks like it's
Are you
8
looking
or
at the
9
western
feet.
side?
Yeah, the west side, at the north end of the west side, right by the transformer yard. I think that wall is like 8 or 9 feet.
Could you go to the survey, Yuki? Maybe unsplit the screen. That's to the west side. That's the north. It's further. It's okay.
Plan down. And I think over to the left more.
So if you zoom out completely.
This one doesn't have all that information.
Yeah, so one of the things that we need is to get our survey team out to get the elevation along this path here. Requesting control.
Well, okay, do you have our set open? It looks like you might. Can you go to page 42 of our set?
Open up the full plan, check comment set. Hold on, I'm doing that.
Or I can share my screen. Would you prefer I do that?
Sure.
I just wanted to show you This is all about the west side.
West wall elevation, yeah.
Yeah, so we have this west wall elevation, and I'm not certain how we got to these. I was assuming it was that we worked out something with you guys for this natural grade. But I guess if you don't have that on your survey, I don't anymore. I'm not confident on how we got this. Right now, this is the transformer pad area. I don't know if this is here, but then this is that westerly planter. So it's like really tall at this end. It gets, less tall over at the south end.
Let me see. I know we did the 3201. Sure if they got any elevations at that time.
Yeah, for some reason I thought you guys did do some there, but it was difficult because of all the vegetation. But that
Yeah.
said, the reason why I started even looking at this is because if we're talking about, so right now the floor to floor is 12 feet.
Mm-hmm.
And if we are talking about, moving this up 6 to 8 inches,
Yeah.
that will also potentially affect this planter back here. But what is this planter? Like, I don't exactly know what that planter is anymore. So
We
I guess
probably need to change it, right? Because do we have a use for Epic? And given the challenges that we experienced on 330,
exactly, like, I'd rather not use them because if Mary's still there, she was not easy to work with. But I guess I want to get the opinions of KPFF and Bennett Design on that one. But also on our end, we need to look to see if there's any like height limit restrictions of things in the side yard. I hope not, because this has like everything from this line down is in the garage level. So this is like our electrical room and our fan room and stuff like that. So I don't think we can lower it at all.
lower what?
This wall, this top of
Okay.
wall.
But we are not looking to lower it, right?
Well, no, but I wanted to make sure there's no like height limit
Okay.
of walls in the side yards, because this is technically a side yard at this point, not building.
Okay. So from our perspective, it doesn't matter to us whether it's Epic or not, because we are changing the mechanism of the stormwater treatment system. We are utilizing a dry well, and what that western planter is counting towards is the green space in our calculations. But that is it. That's our perspective. So I'd leave it to Bennett Design Group on whether they want to repurpose that planter and just use it as a normal planter space rather than using Epic equipment in it.
I think when we did our last round of plans, the assumption was that it was no longer an Epic planter, but we can revisit it again. Right now, we just have low grasses in there. The bamboo part, though, Kara, is taller, right? It's where the bamboo is. I think.
Yeah, that bamboo is in natural grade. There's I don't know how deep, but there's a space. Looks like it's 1.5 feet between the wall of the building and the property line. So that's where the bamboo is going to be going in.
Oh,
so
no,
I guess,
no.
Yanni, we'll leave it.
Sorry, not that skinny area next to the property line. I'm talking about like it within what used to be Epic planting area, you
Oh.
had like individual rectangular
Yeah.
planters. Those are taller, right? That's like more like top of wall, 48 inches above structural slab.
It's taller. I don't know about 48 inches.
Okay.
So right now you can see them. They're right here.
Yeah.
So
But that is taller.
yeah.
Okay.
It is taller. I don't know the actual dimension. So I guess for Yanni and Todd, it's up to you what you want to do with this, the
What
rest of this planter,
what
and
is
what
the
you are able to plant. But we're gonna have to, now that it's not epic, now that it's not epic, we will have to slope to drain, so we'll have to have a built-up topping slab, and so that we will have to figure out together.
okay.
Because it's going to get really shallow up here, and I'm assuming the drain will be somewhere here.
So soil depth to be determined.
I will have to look at that together.
Okay.
Because this is on top of the garage, right?
Yes. Yeah. So
Okay.
that's the other thing. I'm looking at this, and this drain and this planter. I'm not sure it can happen here because you can't have any drains in this electrical room, but I believe they can be in any of these other rooms. So we should look at that too. That's, I guess, for Yanni and us.
Um, it's good. So just looking at summarizing our coordination, the finished floor at the main entrance. I believe we have just the main entrance off of Sepulveda Boulevard that would be impacted, and then the loading on the south side. The stairs, elevation at the stairs is flexible, right? Because you'd be catching the grade at whatever you have at the alley. Just west of grid line 3. Correct?
Yeah, it's flexible because this has to extend all the way to here.
Yep. So what you'd be concerned is the elevation at the loading dock where you have 223 listed there. That's going to be a bit of a challenge because our alley is existing grade is 221.5, 221.7. We can look into regrading the alley. I understand we have to do the entire alley so we can see how much we can raise it. But I'm seeing what's the difference? It's about 14 feet that we have, or 13 feet from the wall to the property line. No, 17.
The 17 is to the center line of the column. So, the dimension from the property line. Kate, do you have the model open?
I'm just reading it from here on your drawings.
So you're looking for the property line to which wall? To the face of Pier 3?
The face of the
much-
loading wall.
Yeah, basically, she wants to know this dimension here.
Okay. 15 feet.
Okay, so I'm assuming we cannot go more than 5% slope.
I don't know anymore.
For some
I don't
reason,
remember.
For some reason, we show the 9.8% slope.
Right,
Doug?
we already showed that. So I don't know why.
Doug, is there any restriction for loading zone grading?
No, not that I know of. I think that, if you can keep it in 2%, you're gonna be better off. But yeah, it's for loading, it's not for ADA.
Yeah, and I think basically for like drive ramps, the maximum is 10%. Oh, actually,
Right,
never
right.
mind. In Manhattan Beach, it's maximum 15%, up to 7.5% transportation.
Sorry,
You can go. I mean, the rule there is, if you can keep it under 10%, you're good. But really, 20% is the maximum. You just have to get approval, and then you got to consider the differentials before and after, so that you don't bottom out cars, right?
yeah, but for the loading, maybe. So you're saying for the loading area, we're considering it in the same manner as we would for a driveway, correct? Or is that,
I don't really know. But I guess so.
okay.
In theory, yes.
Are you talking loading along the street or loading?
Well,
Loading zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the IR process, we had to show like turn radiuses of trucks backing into here.
Right.
So I'm assuming that's, first of all, the city, and I don't remember why, made us close this off. But the intent is if they ever make us open it, that a large truck would be backing in and out of here.
Yeah, this back of house stuff is, as long as there's no, the best I think would be if you can keep it at 6%. Would be, it would do that.
I'm looking at this elevation on A3.04, section GG. The wall is quite high there. That's the wall, right, with the driveway between. Yeah. So, but trucks are backing in, but how far are they going in? They're not going into the space, correct?
To be honest, I thought that, I don't know why it's modeled like it is. I thought that the city's code mandates that it has this loading zone, but in the EIR process or in one of the intent hearings, neighbors were up in arms about trucks coming down Boundary, and they did not want that to happen. So they made us wall it off, but it looks like, yeah, we have it all, and then it's just open air. Strange. I'll have to ask David Hibbert if you remember what happened here. So yeah, it does look like it's open air.
So it's kind of a permanent wall or just a.
Yeah, they don't really want it used, but they don't want us, I believe they didn't want us to use it as like floor area.
Okay.
Section. So I don't remember, but it's walled off. It's not going to be used, but we have to design it as if it was going to be used as a loading area.
So then does it matter, the elevation for 223? And that wall be like a retaining, the alley would be lower.
So I think do you remember what section?
3.04, yeah, that one.
Um,
The one below.
Yeah, I think it does matter in the event that the city does want us to take down this wall and have
Okay, got it.
open. But at as I recall, at this moment, they don't need to take down that.
So on our end, we can see how much we can maximize the alley grading, and make up the differential, because the alley is in the range of 221 and a half. And if we're raising our finished floor to 223.67, if we end up going that way, then we have almost 2 feet of differential. So we'll have to see what we can do. And I understand that zone between grid line, between the property line and grid line B, we can maximize it to 10%. Right? I think that's what we're going to look at.
The only reason I'm pausing is because our driveway ramp has a 7.5% transition to the 15% max. That's why I don't know about the 10%.
Oh, so I think that 7.5% max is being driven by your 15%, not by. We do have driveway transition profiles that we can see. Yuki, do you remember downloading that from the City of Manhattan Beach standards? If we can go
Drive profile.
Mm-hmm. We
Yeah.
can look that up.
Yeah, because I believe at one point we did have this designed as a 10%, 20%, 10%, and that was a correction item back a few years ago where they said no, 15% max. But anyways, that's
Yes.
the only reason why I'm giving.
So if yours is 15% max, then the half is like kind of the thumb rule. So that's why you have 7.5%.
I see.
And I think you can do a 2 to 10%, and there's another angle of deflection that is allowable. So I think we'd be okay. But yeah, I'll back it up. We'll back it up. So I
Also,
believe
just throwing it out there too,
Mhm.
though, if we raise the alley, it may potentially affect that other building that we're not really working on, the commissary building.
Okay, so we'll have to look at that into account. Do you have building heights defined? I know you guys were looking into submitting an entitlements package for the building to the south. What elevations did you end up showing? Can you send that package over? Okay, thank you. So Yuki, when we do our grading, we do have to take our elevations into account because the buildings have been entitled, or at least the 305, to a certain height. So we need to be careful with our grade elevations at the property line. And south of Boundary Place, that building will be developed in the future. It is currently in the city's planning review. So though on our drawings it's showing as existing, we'll have to keep in mind the future proposed condition so as not to impact the design for it. So let's look at that. So Kate, when you send it over, please copy Yuki and Amanda on it as well, and Doug. So I'm seeing only two entrances here. Yeah, the loading, the main entrance off of Sepulveda. I don't see any access points from Duncan Place, or sorry, Duncan Avenue, except to the garage. Let me share my screen. There is this elevation though, or this door. B2. Is this just a fencing?
Yep, that's a gate. That's
Okay.
a screening gate that goes around the mechanical equipment.
Okay.
And
So we just need to when we do our grading, we'll make sure that this circulation that you're showing with the ramp works.
Yep.
Okay. And this stair doesn't matter, right, because it's flexible.
Yeah, hopefully we don't need to add too many more risers, because it looks like, I guess we could.
We don't have an elevation here. Looks like you are accounting for 220.57. So if you can send that over if there's a preferred elevation, or we can mark it up and send it to you based on our alley grading. Maybe that would be the way to go, and we can.
Do you have to regrade the whole entire alley?
We have to repave the alley, but because of some of these grading here, we were making adjustments along the property line. We don't have to regrade it, but we are repaving it.
So in
So we-
theory, that the one at the west property line will probably stay.
Yeah, because that's a joint condition, correct. I'm looking at this, the refused recycling, is that open to Sky or closed?
I believe it needs to have a roof on it.
Okay, so plumbing will take care of the utilities. We're gonna schedule a separate call with Clumac once we get their drawings as well for coordination, hopefully next week. I believe that is it. One of the things that's coming up is this fountain. Again, that would need a sewer connection as well. I see that's coming up on 2901 PCH as a coordination item.
Going back to the refuse, right now we don't show a roof on it, we show it open to the side.
No, but isn't that one of the comments that it has to be enclosed?
Oh, I was just working on it yesterday and I didn't notice that.
Oh, okay. Okay, well then it might be open to the sky.
Okay, we'll have to coordinate that with plumbing.
Can I just, before we go too far on this, I just wanted to just bring up the point that the floor to underside of concrete deck right now is 10.9.5. It'll be 10.3. It'll be about 10'3", and then we have the drop soffit in the lobby. So
It's 10.9 now.
yeah, from the topping slab to the underside of the second floor deck is 10.9.5.
Right, but if they want to raise the slab, then it will grow.
They're raising the ground floor up 6 inches and some change, so it'll be 10.3.
Back to the recycling area, I think it said recycling, that's clear to the sky.
Yes, it is.
So how's that gonna drain? Is that gonna drain by, catch basin in there, or is it just gonna run out of there? What are we doing?
It's running out of there. And that's what we have right now. We don't show a drain right now.
So we need to coordinate that. I'm unsure if it can just flow out into the alley.
Yeah, different cities have different rules on that. Like commonly, if it's clear to the sky, it can, and if it's covered, it can't. If that makes any sense.
What does
Because
that connection item say? The yellow
It
connection?
has to go to the sewer if it's covered.
So provide details for trash enclosure, including trap drain connection to sanitary sewer. So from that, I hear that city wants a drain that
Yep, but
connects to the sewer.
But it needs
Yeah,
to be
and
it needs to be valved though, so that they probably manually valve, because when it rains, there's going to be too much water going to the sewer, and they're not going to want that.
Yeah, it needs to be a Fox drain, so we'll coordinate that with the MEP.
Okay, because right now we do show a drain, a sloping to what looks like a drain. Sorry, I missed that before. And we have a
F14.
F40, whatever that is.
micro channel drain, okay.
Yeah.
So you're gonna look into this, raising the finished floor?
Yeah, I brought it up because, that is pretty tight for CM.
Okay. And we're gonna look into the utilities as well, because we have this domestic water, fire water, and I'm unsure where we are placing the irrigation backflow prevention, so we'll have to discuss that as well. I think one of the things that has been coming a bit late is the irrigation requirements for all these planters, so Yanni, if you can look into that and get us the information from your irrigation consultant.
Sure. He shows a dedicated meter sort of in the vicinity of, I don't have share screen, sort of where your hand is. He schematically shows it roughly around there and a backflow preventer there.
Okay, so we'll need to show that in the architectural drawings because it's not reflected, and we'll have to move all our utilities, so that's another item that we need to coordinate. What sheet is yours, Yanni?
Hang on. In that big document, I'm not quite sure.
Neha, is this the same water purveyor for this one as it was for the other project?
No, this is City of Manhattan Beach.
All right, so they're probably going to want an independent meter. Okay.
After civil,
Sorry, I'm trying to see if I can find it in that big document. I've got it somewhere.
yeah, I have pulled up your drawings here.
Oh, did you find it? Okay.
So 84 of 175.
There you go.
You're saying irrigation point of connection, connect to new 1-inch domestic water meter for irrigation supply. Okay, we'll need to show this as well.
And he's got the back, I think this yin yang square is the backflow preventer.
Can you get us the model? I'm gonna look for it here. Don't see the detail for it or the spec.
I
They may
think
not
the will
specify.
the backflow preventer. I think there is a detail a few pages down. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I see.
Oh, there you go.
Wilkins.
There you go. Yeah.
And that's 1 inch.
Can you send us the cut sheet for it, Yanni?
Sure.
Thank you.
They want to reduce pressure too.
Anything else, Yanni, at this point?
Along Sepulveda, at one time we had flow-through planters, but we no longer do. Is that correct?
Technically, we are not looking for flow-through planters. The planters are great because we're adding towards the stormwater calculations, but we don't need those to be flow-through. We are taking everything down to the basement.
Okay, so do those planters still have concrete bottoms? What were flow-through planters? And like, I'm just trying to make sure we have enough depth in all of these. I don't think I have section information for the planters along Sepulveda.
I think given the coordination that we had to do for 2901 with the depth and making sure they're designed, I would like to take care of it now. So what kind of planting would you be putting in?
Well, we do show plantings. I should probably review one more time with Todd before sending to you, but we do have some palms. Hang on a minute. think we have some date palms. Just a second, I've got the wrong plan.
Yeah, so given that they were deep,
Yeah.
we needed over 4 feet. Um, we would need to look at shoring and all of that for this.
And
Right.
also, I guess, based on the concern of the like, canopy, distancing, that might be some. This is only like a 3 foot wide planter,
Mm-hmm.
so the canopy would definitely be hitting the building.
So Yanni, if you can look into the planters, because I would like to get our structural on it and not hustle in the CA. I think that would be great. Even the one on Duncan Avenue, the planter that we need.
I could barely hear Kara. Kara, are you saying there's like an overhang or something on the front elevation that we need to worry about for the canopy?
No, but if there's these planters are only what, 3 feet wide.
Yeah.
So if the date palm canopy is over 3 feet, which I
Oh,
think
sure.
it
It's
is,
too close to the building. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
We'll revisit it. Sorry, I misspoke. It's
Okay.
not a date palm, but a king palm. But still, we should take a look to see if it's too close.
Right, because like if it's going to be just smashing against the storefront, that's
Right.
probably not what is desired.
Not ideal. I think I was searching through the drawings. The only section I had was through what used to be a flow-through planter, but for the others, I'm not certain if there is a bottom or not to them. So I think I just need some direction as to where I look for sections for these.
Sections for these planters?
Yeah.
We haven't, but let me see. I don't know if we have it. It would be A3.01, correct?
Yeah, 3.01. Bit lot more. Probably 41.
Okay.
These sections first. Oh yeah.
Yeah, looks like it's come.
west.
Oh, sorry, that's the west.
So I believe that's the entry.
Yeah. This as well?
That's west. That's the west projection. So yeah, that. So it looks like these are mostly over
Grade
I'll
over the
say
sidewalk.
natural grade in quotations.
So would we have a concrete bottom then, or it would be at grade?
There shouldn't be any reason to do that as concrete at the bottom.
Right, I think it's going to be up to whatever your footings are.
Okay, so we can start. So Yanni, if you can maybe have a meeting, next meeting would be looking at the off-site coordination. I'm not seeing any trees or landscaping requirements for Sepulveda, but there is for Duncan Avenue. So we can schedule a call for that. And then one thing that I do want to go over is the dedication requirements that Eric Z had put out. Like it's a 5 feet street dedication to the city. Oh, he did show tree wells. My bad.
Yeah, but
You know,
I remember we had those tree wells in there and then we took them out and I don't remember why. I don't know if it's the Caltrans thing or a utility thing.
I think it was
I
Justine figured
think
out
it was
that there
the
were
utility.
there's water line or something, and there was no room.
Yeah, it's a utility line. There is the water line.
Okay. So yeah, he marked it and then you guys found that out and then I think he said, okay, fine, we don't need.
Sorry, I couldn't, so on Sepulveda, those planters along Sepulveda, it sounds like there are not concrete bottoms along those, in those planters, is that what I heard?
That's what I heard, but Kara said it also depends on the foundation, if it's going to be turned.
Because are you allowed to put your footing, your wall footing
No, into
the dedication?
Yeah.
So then it does need to be turned in.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to be at least 3.
Yeah, so it's gonna serve as, it's gonna end up serving as a concrete bottom.
But if it touches the building, wouldn't Fred have to design it as a cantilevered slab? Or no?
Yeah, I'll reach out to Will and connect, but how much are you thinking for these? They will still be above grade, and how much below grade? Yanni, what would you need, like 4 feet?
I'd have to ask Todd, but I'll get back to you on all of them along there.
Okay, so we'll need that to give some kind of, we'll have to look at it from a
Parameters.
structural perspective then.
And I think there is a height limit. Again, our office will have to check that out. I think there is a height limit of walls in the front yard.
Okay. Okay. So there are a few things for us to research and get back to, but yeah, you can see there's the dedication, there's the corner cut dedication. We need to circle back with Caltrans, given that they were going to do these ADA improvements along Sepulveda. So maybe tentatively we can look at meeting up on Wednesday with some of the responses. Does that sound like a plan? Yanni?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. And would you be able to look at, would Wednesday be okay to circle back? Kara and Kate?
Depends on the time. We're usually pretty booked with.
Oh, yeah. Right, I can't do Wednesday either because I got pretty booked with the CA stuff for the others, Sketchers. Is Tuesday too early?
I think
Could do Thursday morning at 9.
I can see what I can do and get back to you.
Yeah, Thursday morning might work for us because we'll be on the road and we can do double duty.
Okay, I'll put it on.
the goal of the next week's meeting?
Circling back, are we okay to raise our finished floor? I also would want to go over with Yanni the off-site improvements. Get that coordination going. We can look at the alley grading and whether it's working for the loading dock. We could do it Friday afternoon Thursday afternoon later.
If we did it Thursday morning, if we end up going over to the site on Thursday morning, I can call in from my car. They answer some type.
I mean, I feel like we should be able to give an answer through email.
Okay.
And for me, calling in my car, I can do that. It's just I'll be limited to Will.
Okay. So if it's via email, we can start that, but tentatively, maybe we can put a placeholder Thursday afternoon for any other questions that we might, and then we can cancel if we don't need to. Up to you guys. Okay.
But I think a lot of the items are between you and it.
Yeah. So
if you guys want to keep the Thursday, that's fine.
okay. Yeah. Annie, let me know if we can do Thursday afternoon.
Okay. You have a limitation, Neha, right? You're there till 3.
Yeah, if I am there, if we cannot do the morning, then I will have a later start to the day and
Gotcha.
stay a little later.
Gotcha.
That's how I'm playing it.
Good,
Yeah.
good.
So let me know.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye now.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye. Bye.